think we are actually
Oh,
live right now. Yes, we are live.
okay, okay.
So I am, y'all.
Whatever you wanted.
I think it's working, y'all. I see my mic is not muted. Amen. I see that I have a video feed coming from Tamara. I see that she can see me. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Jesus. So now,
What's the link, Kenny?
um, the link for what?
It's on YouTube.
Yes,
Okay,
youtube.com forward
YouTube.
slash Kenny Wesley and facebook.com forward slash Soulful Nerd.
Okay, Soulful Nerd live.
Yes, we're live.
Music therapy part 2.
Yes, you see that?
Yes.
Haha!
I don't see us, but
Yeah, because I just have the Nerd TV up there.
oh.
Yes, I'm trying to increase the production value. So
Oh.
then when I transition to the YouTube clip, like this here,
Uh-huh.
uh they can see that some
Uh-huh.
that I'm about to play something of mine, y'all. This is International Jazz Day, so I wanted to post. I think it is anyway. That's what they said on Twitter. So I'm gonna post a clip from one of my performances in Madagascar, International Jazz Day,
Oh, I
and
remember this.
here it is, y'all. Until in our time, I'll be there for you. You are my honey, I truly adore you. If God would struck me blind, your beauty I still see. Love to you. Could you define? Oh, you mean so much to me. And to God, He loves you. You're so beautiful. He made you in His image. Oh, holy and righteous. We just gotta believe. We gotta receive it. Could you be the most beautiful girl in the world? Plain to see, you're the reason that God made a girl. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. I only want to see you smiling in the purple rain. going to replay this really amazing clip of Tamara performing for one of her patients at a hospital in Virginia. This is so touching. Sit back. It's the wrong one. Sorry.
But there's
Here.
nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by. I don't mind if I can't be here on the street where you live. But I better, better buy out. But I better, better buy out. But I better, 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 better buy.
Great.
I've never had anybody to sing to me during chemo. And that was really nice because she sang a song that I knew. And, and when she started singing it, it brought back great memories of the work that I did. And as a wedding planner, that song was sang by one of my grooms to his precious bride as they danced their first dance. So it filled my heart and it made me feel happy, and it didn't. I stopped thinking about a year ago, and that I've been through this chemo for a year. Art delights your heart.
So, everyone, without further ado, I am reintroducing to you all the amazing, the incomparable, the internationally acclaimed Tamara Wellons. Welcome back for part two due to technical difficulties that we have overcome, it looks like. But
Hey,
thank you so much
we
for
shall overcome.
we shall overcome. Uh-huh. Thank you so much for
Yes.
coming back and for just being so accommodating in this in during this quarantine time, yes, but in
I ain't got
spite
nothing else
of
to do. I'm here. What am I do? Go be, find some drawer to clean out, and I cleaned out everything I wanted to. So, no.
despite
Of
my
course.
technical challenges. So, for those who did not tune in yesterday, just give a short synopsis of who Tamara Wellons is and how therapeutic music plays a part in your career and in your daily life.
Um, I'm an artist. I am a woman. So that alone right there, that's everything.
Huh?
I'm a woman and I'm an artist.
Yeah.
And I've been singing to patients in hospitals for about 8 years. In between concerts and performances and recording, um, part of my work is to sing one-to-one with patients, and also in spaces to create this environment of wellness in hospitals through music and through art, and that's what I do.
It, so when I muted my mic, y'all, I had some good questions. Okay, I don't
They
even.
were good.
Oh man, I don't even remember what half of them were because some of them just naturally come as you're in the groove. But
Yeah.
uh, the the scope of those questions had to deal with the limits or the boundaries that she has as a therapeutic music artist versus a music therapist. So could you explain just a basic difference between a certified music therapist and a therapeutic
Yeah.
music practitioner?
So the difference is, for what I do, there is no certification for it. It's your experience. Yes, there can be training depending on what program you're under, but I am not. Um, diagnosing, I'm not treating, medically treating. Um, I am providing music as a service to those in need of the service. And sometimes it's through a team of doctors and nurses who decide who they think would be best, the population best to serve. Each hospital space is different. And sometimes it is really um, random. I knock on doors and say, "Would you like to hear a song?" Now the program that I work with now is the Nova Star Cancer Institute in Fairfax, and and I used to work with Lombardi Cancer Center. I'm still friends with them. I love the folks over there at Georgetown. Um, it's a very organized team, both places, and we work, the artist, the program manager, the director. We work directly with the doctors and nurses and the administrative team and volunteer services. Although it is not a volunteer position, the artists do get paid, and that's an important thing to know too. A lot of people think, "Oh, you're doing this out the kindness of your heart," and yes, it is out the kindness of my heart, and I also get paid for it too.
So let's say,
There can be both.
so you actually manage the team of artists that come in for the program, correct?
I do.
What
It's
types
a
of artists come in generally?
Visual artists are the ones we mostly have on the team at SHAR, but we also have musicians and storytellers and a poet. We have an
Mm.
organization called the Good Listening Project, and they create free custom poetry for patients and staff, and especially for staff right now. We're really trying to help with the physician burnout and nurse resilience. It's a lot of pressure on the healthcare workers right now.
Mhm.
So our program is to support that.
Now, the visual artists, are they painting the patients? Are they painting scenery? What are they doing?
That's a good question. So in our program, we have an artist who sits in the lobby area, and she works on paintings in the lobby space, and patients can watch her paint, which is so therapeutic. It's
Mm.
calming. What's that guy's name?
Bob Ross.
The yeah, think of that.
Those are happy trees. These are happy trees.
Happy trees. And the sound of that brush, boy,
Yes.
put
Now
you in a
that's
little
true.
trance.
That's true. That something about that sound. So
The repetition.
yes. Now, as a professional in therapeutic music, have you noticed that there's certain sounds, certain frequencies, certain tones, certain keys, certain things that you do vocally that affect
Yeah.
patients in different ways?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I really try to meet the patient where they are. And I can do that. I can gauge that by sometimes asking them, would you like to hear something up tempo, or how you feeling today? Very simple. Um, and sometimes even if people are feeling down, feeling sad, I'm not feeling good today. That doesn't mean that I have to go sing Blue Skies for them. I'm not trying to change their mood. Like, that can be annoying when somebody's coming like, "Oh, you'll be okay," or
Yeah.
"Cheer up." Oh God, no. So you have to be careful. You have to kind of test the air, and have a good amount of songs. Like, I have a lot of tools in my arsenal to use. Um, I sing Blue Skies a lot though.
what
I really do.
how do you deal with somebody who is, let's say, dealing with a terminal illness and they
Mm-hmm.
may die in a few days? Do How do
Mm-hmm.
you gauge how far to go in? Like, if they're getting emotional, like, do you stop, or have they told you to stop? Uh,
Yeah.
is it too if your singing is sonically pleasing,
Not pleasing. Right, right, right. I
but
think about that.
what's the word I'm looking for? Um, the frequency of it they can't handle physically,
Right,
like
right.
maybe like a tinnitus type of situation or something. How do you deal with those
Hmm.
situations?
I haven't really encountered it, a situation where a patient tells me, this doesn't feel good to me. This is painful or anything. Out of my 8 years of singing to patients, I've had one patient to say, no, I
Uh-oh.
will not. Not just no. I get no's all the time. That's normal to say no, I don't feel like it right now. But she was like, no, I don't want you to sing for me.
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh, okay.
I heard that accent too. Where's that from?
I ain't gonna say no names. But you know what, Kenny? It's like you don't know sometimes what people are going through when I don't know what people are going through when I walk through those doors.
Yeah.
I don't know who I remind them of. I don't
Mhm.
know, it's just so much that you don't know about a person. So you really have to go in, leaving all of your judgment and thoughts behind about what you think a person might want not want to hear or hear from you.
Yes.
Um,
Mm.
I had a situation one time where I just knew this family. They didn't want to hear nothing from this young black woman coming in here singing. What you gonna sing for me? You get these looks like you want to do what? You want to sing a song for me? Uh, okay. What's the catch here? I've gotten all kinds of asks, even with the badge. What you want, some money or something? What kind of? But I end up having those are sometimes the most wonderful experiences. I remember singing "Oh It Is Jesus" one time with this family, just before the man was about to go into surgery, and they were just
Mm.
sitting around, just hanging out. I didn't see. Sometimes you can pick up on things. You see a Bible that say, okay, maybe they would like to hear some gospel or something. But it wasn't any of that. Just a simple question and connecting with people. And boy, when I sang that song, they were like, "That's just what I needed before I went into this surgery.
Mm.
That's just what I needed." And the family singing along. I get the family to sing along sometimes with me. Um, it's you just the experience is so rich, and I could really write a book about it if I sat down and thought about all the experiences I've had. um, I could write a book about it.
Because you are constantly pouring out yourself to people who are very vulnerable, um, and you are providing a service that is bringing joy to them and healing to them, um, it's normal to get lots of adulation,
Hmm.
compliments, and gratitude.
Yes. Yeah.
And artists, as an artist, you're used to that as well. But it's probably another level when you're dealing with people that are specifically really in dire needs of some type of relief.
Yeah.
How do you emotionally process all of that at the end of the day? Because I'm sure it's draining.
Yeah. It is draining. I have a couple people I call sometimes. I'll call my sister, I'll call my mom or my husband. And, almost like a little check in. I do it for myself, you know, like to just say, my mom always said, well, what happened to George? Like she'll ask me what happened and I can tell her about it. Um, and sometimes I just reflect on it for myself. That drive home can help me just process. It was both hospitals are really long for me.
Yeah,
The drive
you're
is.
out
So
there.
I have enough time to just process it. Sometimes I just just quietly drive, with no music or anything. And then there's a process also of just logging what I've experienced. Sometimes if it's really a lot, I had some crazy experiences. Like,
Give us one. Give us one, girl. No names, because we know about HIPAA.
that's right. One time I had to. I've been with a lot of patients who are facing the days, but look, we don't know.
Come on.
Sometimes the
Come on,
doctor can
Toby.
say,
Come on.
one day, and they'll still be there 6 days, 6 months later, or a year later. Um, and sometimes I don't get to know if a person has transitioned. But there was one time where I did know. I knew that the person had transitioned because I walked in the room just before the transition. So I didn't realize that this is what was going on until I was already in the space, and I felt compelled to stay and sing and be there, rub the back of the family members that were there,
Yeah.
and sing a little, just hum a little song. This was actually a family who did not, English was not their first language.
Mm.
I don't even know if they spoke much English, but I just hummed a hymn and was just there to console. And it's not a thing of, oh, I didn't walk in and say, oh, I'm going to sing for you,
Yeah.
or ask, it wasn't like that. It
Yeah.
was just, I met um, the chaplain on the way out, and he said, yeah, this family could really use you right now. So sometimes you build a relationship with the people, and also who are working in that type of support service for others. So he knew me, I knew him, and we went in there, and it shook me. It really shook me.
How did you get
Um,
past that fear and serve the family?
it wasn't any getting past it. It was just kind of, I just jumped in. Like, it wasn't.
Oh, so the shaking happened during and after.
Like, yeah, in a way. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just kind of like, there, okay, I know this is happening. I'm here now. I can't just bolt out. This is my feeling, you know. So I did provide that service.
Yeah.
And then I excused myself. I just said, um, God be with you. God bless you. And, I exited. It wasn't about, them saying thank you, or, sometimes it's not never about that.
Come on.
Sometimes it's never about that. You don't owe me a thanks,
That was my
really.
biggest takeaway actually from our conversation yesterday. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if that was part of the interview before or after the cancer video where my mic was muted, but but
Yeah.
I love that you said it's not about me.
Yeah.
Because I think as artists, we can be very narcissistic and all inward and oh look
Yeah.
how I look. Take a picture of me from my
Mm-hmm.
right side only. Oh look at my hair. Oh look at my face. Oh look at listen to my voice. Look at look at But I'm just like you know what?
It's so true. Yeah.
There comes a point where you have to realize that your gift is not for you. It's to be
Yeah.
given
Yeah.
to others.
Yeah.
How was that process for you getting past yourself and becoming that vessel, that giver?
That took a minute, because I would just remember times, in the first couple of years, I would just have this feeling of like all the little stuff that goes on in your head. And I have a lot of stuff that goes on in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, they don't really want, these are the things that go in my head. They don't want to hear me. Oh Lord, what if they stop in the middle of it? Oh gosh, am I doing them harm? Is this okay? Like all of these things are going through my head.
So was it like a progressive quieting of all of those voices over time?
Yeah, it became more focus on how are they breathing now.
Mm,
It's noticing whether their fists are clenched or their bodies are tight when I go in, and are they being relaxed by the time I leave. So I'm paying attention to them. How are you? What's happening physically.
wow.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother dimension of
Mm-hmm.
of awareness because
Yes.
so it was like
Yes.
you got heightened awareness because you weren't focusing on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has it spilled over into your daily interactions, into your performing life, into your family life? How has that informed you as a person beyond the work?
Oh my gosh, most definitely. And I don't know which one came first, whether I was informed from those outside things or through the music part. Because I forgot where we were in the conversation, but I did do a lot of soul searching, and during the time that I started, through awareness of my own, how am I reacting to things that I hear or things that I feel. Um, So, all that inner work, it really does help. How am I talking to my children? How am I relating to them? And other people? Yeah. So I think it goes both ways. Both things have helped me, and I would say become better
Yes. Yes.
doing this work.
I honestly could say that when I started doing more philanthropic performances, it took me back to my childhood when we would go to
Mm-hmm.
the nursing homes and
Yeah.
see or just visit people. And
Yeah.
it, I can't really describe exactly what it does to you on a mental level, but it definitely humbles you.
Yes.
Seeing people in a vulnerable state
Yeah.
and realizing that that absolutely could be you, and
Yep. Yes.
the fact that it's not you and you
Yeah.
have this gift, it gives you this heightened joy and heightened passion
Mm-hmm.
while performing. And I know
And
that every time that I perform, when I'm not in that space of giving, it's a big difference, and it's almost like a
mm-hmm.
check. It's like a little buzzer goes off in my brain, like, okay, wait, something is off here. Something is off here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times I would go in places, you know, Black culture, being raised in a Southern Baptist rural town,
Yes.
there are certain things that just, it won't go away from me. It's in me.
And what town
So,
is that for the audience?
oh, it's Ivor, Virginia. It's in Southampton County, Virginia.
Isn't there something famous about
Southeastern.
that area?
Well, in Southampton, yes, we have Nat Turner, who led the country's, one of the, I won't say it's the biggest, but the most, it created a lot of heat for our
Notorious.
country. Hmm. His
Slave revolt.
insurrection, slave
Yes.
revolt.
Wow.
Dred Scott was born in Southampton County.
Wow. Now, who's Dred
Uh,
Scott for my non-black history aficionados in the audience?
Dred Scott, he was born in Southampton, worked on the plantation. He was the one who wanted to buy his freedom. And it went to the Supreme Court. They would not let him. Um, and you have to read the rest of the book for that. The
Dred
rest of
Scott,
the
the Dred
information.
Scott decision, that was historic because
Historic.
it was like it set a
Yeah.
precedent. If
Hmm.
even if you got money, you still black. That's basically what it meant.
Yeah. He ended up getting his freedom. I think his previous owners bought his freedom. He died a year later.
Mhm.
He died a year later after that.
How ironic.
Um, right.
Oh,
Um, Pearl Bailey. I think she was born in Southampton, and she's lived in Newport News. She grew up in the Newport News
mm,
area.
Pearl Bailey.
So yeah. So there's this thing that happens when I think that being represented in those spaces. When I say represented, me being a black woman going into the space where there are black people who are in vulnerable spaces, meeting their needs in this way, as providing song and old hymns, because I grew up on these hymns, so I knew a lot of these hymns that patients were familiar with, black
Hmm.
patients.
Yes.
And so, but there were a few times I would go in there and be like, hold up, you from Virginia? So this is the thing, that happens with us.
Uh
Now,
oh.
what's your last name?
Uh oh.
Okay. You know so and so. Do you know so and so? Now, what's your mama last name? And next thing you know,
Y'all
totally,
kin.
against the rules, right? Mama, do you know the Holloways from wherever? You know,
I love
yes,
that.
I know that. So there have been a couple of times where I connected with some people who knew my family and we had a connection. That's how black folks are, right?
I love that.
And I love it too. I love it. I absolutely love it. And that kind of thing you can't put down in the manual to
Hmm.
say if you do, it's part of our culture.
One question I do remember asking was, what was the strangest request that you've ever heard of someone getting? And I was
Mhm.
using or referencing the things we see on TV where people request a certain song to be played while they're being operated on. Were you
Yeah.
ever summoned to go into an operating room or anything like that to sing to someone?
No, I've never been summoned to go into an operating room. Trying to think of the weirdest thing. I've been asked to sing all kinds of songs. This one, oh, this is such a precious moment. I went to sing for a doctor.
Mm,
This was a doctor at Georgetown,
mm-hmm.
and this was just this was it December, and he was in palliative care, and he was dying,
Oh my
but
goodness.
you would not know it. I mean, he was just cheerful. Well, you would know it if you knew it, but if you knew him, but he's very upbeat. He only wanted to hear love songs,
Oh.
and then he was requested. So I was his girl because I would sing Anita Baker. I knew some Stevie Wonder,
Yes.
everything. We had fun. He loved all of that R&B, old soulful classic music. And but he did request that I sing some Bollywood love songs,
Oh
and I didn't
wow.
know any.
Ah! Did you learn one for him?
Well, he gave me the link to one. I wrote it down, and I didn't get a chance to sing it for him.
Oh.
I didn't get a chance to. So he actually passed that. I sung happy birthday to him that Monday. His birthday was on Thursday, and he died that Wednesday before his birthday.
That's really beautiful.
Now I sung the Stevie Wonder version and the traditional version for
All
him.
right. All right now. Yeah, he would have appreciated
And he was just so happy. His family was on, it was just on the call so they could see it, and it was just a lot of joyful moments like that.
Yeah.
But that was a real special one, and it shook me too. So yeah, it really stayed with me.
Have you ever had to turn down a job for any reason or walk out on a patient?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. Can't go into why.
It could be for many reasons, really. Um, Sometimes people are in a space where they need more than you can offer them. And so I have to know when to say, okay, you have a nice day, ma'am. Or you have a nice day, sir.
Oh, meaning
Um,
that they request more and more and more and more, jukebox style.
it it could be that. So it yeah, it could be that. Um, it could be just conversation though,
Got it.
you know, just the listening part.
Yeah. Now, how
Yeah.
much debriefing do you all go through before you begin so you know, like, okay, this is a red flag? Walk away. Does the
Oh, that's a good
hospital
question.
walk you through some of those things? The
Some
HIPAA.
programs you don't get to do debriefing
Oh my
at
word.
all.
Ooh,
Yeah, so it is really all, I would say, um, guesswork
sink or
or
swim.
asking.
Wow.
Yeah. But there, I do have a list in one of my spaces that I go, and I have notes from other artists who say, well, this person would like to hear music. So I make sure I go and see that person. Or if, whatever art that person might be interested in. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you do the
It
hiring and the
is.
firing of them artists.
Yeah. Now, but
So
I don't have, everybody's good though.
what would be a reason you would get rid of somebody?
If I didn't think that they were, um, if they demonstrated that they weren't mentally prepared to go and be with people who are facing vulnerabilities and
Mm,
facing illness,
what?
like if it's too much for them and they would start um, crying, or it was too close to them, because a
Yes.
lot of people do this work too because it is close to them, you know.
Have you ever had an experience where you almost broke, like you almost started to cry, and how did you handle that?
Oh yeah, I cry. I'll cry right there with the patient if they.
Okay. Now that's
It
me.
really it really depends. Yeah,
Okay.
there have been times where I just held it and walked out the room because, Kenny, I'm telling you, you would see people. For me, I would see people who reminded me of somebody. Like I was like, wow, that could be my dad, or that could be my mom, or I think
Yes.
about the age of the person and
Mm.
how, as we were saying before, like wow, or they're so young. So when I leave, I'll break down if I need to, and only if I feel that the we're in the space together where I can share, my tears rolling won't affect my listening for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of use my own judgment in that.
Yeah.
You have to be mature and, I would say, grounded to be in that space. And sometimes if you find yourself not grounded that day, maybe you go sing in the lobby area, or you go play in the where you don't have to be with somebody one to one, because we're human, we have days, it's just like, you know what, this ain't the day.
Yes.
Let me go
This
just.
ain't the day.
It's ain't.
Oh,
He's silly.
oh. So, what would be some words of wisdom you would give to an artist who would like to also work in the therapeutic music sector?
Hmm.
How to
I would
prepare
say
and how to get jobs.
I would say you can, as we artists do all the time, starting on your own. Just do it. Um, don't count out your experiences with working with people like that. For instance, I would say when I was 15, my aunt Corrine had Alzheimer's, and she lived next door to us. I used to go next door, take her plates of food and her medicine and all that stuff. And she's a singer. She's out strong alto singer.
Mm.
And she could play the organ.
All right.
And so, I would get in sessions where she would be singing and let me teach you this song. And then, this was my first experience understanding how music affects people, even with a disease like Alzheimer's,
Yes.
because she could remember all the words to the song.
Wow.
So I'm 15, like, oh my gosh, Uncle Reen can remember these songs, but she can't remember whether to put her skirt on, which side to put her skirt on,
Amazing.
or who was her nephew, which is my dad. So I understood, and don't you can't count out those types of experiences as an artist wanting to go into a space where you work with people who have illness or certain vulnerabilities.
Excellent.
Um,
How are you dealing with
yeah,
the COVID-19 and people in your profession?
we are we are artists continuing to make art. So it's like, you know, you're gonna do it anyway, right? So the artists on my roster, they're willing to give. They want to do something. So right now we have virtual poetry sessions. We've been chalking the sidewalk in the front entrance of the hospital. We send out messages. It's another program that I worked with. They're just sending out weekly newsletters to give people ideas of things that they can do at home. Or in the hospital with their own materials. Our program, we created these art kits where they're these meditative mandalas, and we put some colored pencils in the package, and we hand them, I've had them sent to the infusion space so that people can take them and use them and take them home. They're building collages. So we're not there physically, but we're providing something still that people can use on their own. And that's what we'll do. We'll do whatever we can until we get to the space where we can get back in there.
How do you see all of this experience and knowledge that you've acquired in the therapeutic space being applied to the more commercial performing arts space?
I don't know. I think about that, like how I always think about my worlds, right? I'm in the recording industry, and then I have this um, therapeutic art going on here, and I always think about how these worlds will come together, and I can't say that I have a good answer for that because they feel very different. Now, I know that as a recording artist, how music has helped me. Well, actually, this time right now, this health crisis, I'm hearing more and more and more and more and more about the therapeutic components of music
Mm,
for people. I
okay.
mean, come on, we got D Nice, those sessions, all these DJs playing music,
It's
that has
true.
been therapeutic.
Yeah, it's true. I was in my living
Um,
room. I had I put, I think it was DJ Francis J. I put her on a Bluetooth speaker, and
yes,
that playlist was so good. I was in my living room dancing, and it just
yes,
lifted me. And
yep,
music, whether it's a performance capacity or a therapeutic capacity, it
yeah,
always has the ability to take your mind off of what you're currently going through.
yeah,
And I think it's
yeah.
probably one of the only things other than like prayer and meditation that can really just take your mind somewhere different
hmm
on a
I
scientific
think,
level.
yeah, I think the difference is in the arts and health space, where music is, it is intentional, that it
Mm,
is for this reason. I want to put your mind at ease. I want to reduce the stress. while you're going through this illness.
Yes.
And so sometimes we're already doing it, a lot of us in the recording industry and making music. We don't know that that might not be our specific intention, but it does help,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I think,
Yeah.
well, I'll say what I've experienced in my time with you, your ability to convey your heart and your love for people and for yourself, it comes out through your performance, whether
Mhm.
it's on a big stage, on a small stage, and I'm sure it's the same,
Thank you.
probably even more so when you're in a medical setting. So
Hmm.
whether you know it or not, you've achieved that cross section between the two. I don't feel I don't feel
Thank you.
I don't feel disconnected from you when I experience you live.
Oh, that's so big. Thank you.
I know a lot of amazing
Yeah.
singers, and you can tell the difference when someone is really talented and in their own space in a narcissistic way, or when they're really singing from their heart in a
Hmm.
non-mechanical robotic kind of way, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. There's a difference,
Hmm.
and I see that with you. It's not just a job, it's a
Yeah.
passion. So
Thank
I
you.
want to thank you for
You're
for
welcome.
contributing to the healing of humanity, and
Hmm.
just for being such a wonderful person. We need more positivity in the music business, and
Thank.
we need more artists who have the selflessness to be
Mm.
willing to share their gift wherever it
Hmm.
may take them, whether there's a big paycheck, a little paycheck, or no paycheck
Yeah.
attached to it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
What are you working on now? Any new projects in the works?
I am. I'm always working, Kenny.
Right?
And, and I don't know it until I go back and look at my little voice memos. I'm like, oh yeah, I got a little song here, a little song there.
I do the same thing.
Um,
How do your songs
thank God
come
for the
to you?
voice memos, right?
Okay. How do your songs come to you? Do you hear like words, melodies? Are you like coming out of a dream? Like what's your process?
Ooh, that coming out of a dream stuff right there.
Come on now.
When that happens, I'm like, thank you, Jesus.
Hey,
Thank
hey.
you. Because you can't play, you cannot like do, it's like it's there already. It's like a gift. It is a gift. Whew.
I love those.
Mm,
But also it's
me
very
too.
delicate because if you wake up too quick, you'll forget.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you try
Hmm.
and like roll it through your head so you can kind of memorize it before you wake up?
Yeah. Yeah. Be like, yeah, whatever it was, you trying to mouth it on the phone. Kenny, I remember having these dreams of somebody else singing a song, right? It
Oh,
could be famous people. I've had dreams of whole songs. And I remember I used to think before I became conscious in my dream. That's a whole nother podcast.
come on.
But I I remember thinking, oh, this song, I must have dreamed this song. This must be for so and so. This must be for so so. Not thinking, this is my dream. Hold up, this mine. This for me.
Ah, could be for both of y'all. Double
It could
checks.
be. It
Double
could be.
checks. Okay.
It- so then I had to, I got to start investigating this. My Lord, is this for me or is it for? So
Mhm.
yeah, my dreams are very powerful. That's why my company is called Her Dreams Productions.
Yes. People, you know what? We should do a dreams what do you call it? Dreams live live because
Yeah,
there's power in the dreams. There's parts of your
yeah,
brain that are active that are not during the regular day. That's usually
Yeah.
when your subconscious comes alive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've had lots of dreams where it literally was um, uh, directions to help me in
Yeah.
my everyday life. So,
Mm.
everybody out there, if you having dreams, write them things down.
Yeah.
The Lord might be giving you some instructions, things to
Uh-huh.
avoid, things to do,
Yes.
people to avoid, people to,
Mm-hmm.
bring closer, all kinds of things you have in your dreams. So start paying
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
Do you have like a
Yeah.
dream journal where you write down the dreams?
I do. I have several journals and I write them down. That dream, I had a dream about you.
Oh, tell me about it when we get off of here. When we get off of here.
I had a dream about you.
Oh, wow.
And I just I'm telling you, it was a dream about it was during my birthday time, which and it was crazy because you came to my house to
After
help me
the dream.
celebrate my birthday
After the dream.
after the dream.
Oh, wow. Come on, her
But
dreams
I
productions.
hadn't even thought about it before. Like it kind of I wrote it down and it left my mind. But
Yeah.
then afterwards, I was like, wait a minute. Everybody who was in that dream, well, you, Troy, and Rona, that y'all were in my dream.
Shut up.
We were in the car together. So it is something to my dreams. I know that. Yeah.
On that note.
On that note, and I'm gonna show you that journal too.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Shut the
Yeah.
front door. Mm.
So I'm grateful that I have my dreams.
Yes, me too.
Um, you know,
Now,
God speaks to me.
have you
I'm
noticed?
sweating. Sorry, I done got hot
It's all right.
talking about this.
I was
I
hot now.
gotta
I'm
take
getting
off
hot
my
now, too.
sweater.
Did you notice? Might be the Holy Ghost. Shh. Did you notice that there's certain times in your life where you're dreaming less or dreaming more?
Yeah, yeah.
For me, if I'm really stressed, I don't have many dreams. It kind of shuts off the dreams for
Really,
me.
I'm the opposite.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. It's a lot. I think a lot of things get flushed out. A lot of things are released in
Hmm.
my dreams when I'm stressed,
Yes.
or
Wow.
I'll wake up with something. That 3:30 in the morning wake up.
Come on.
I go through those periods of being awakened at
Yes.
3:30
Yes.
or 3:40 or whatever. And so I don't take them lightly. I just go ahead and get up sometimes and I'm like, okay, what you want with me, God? What
Okay.
you
Hey.
know?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
So I have your websites here, TamaraWellonsMusic.com, Facebook.com
Mm-hmm.
forward slash Tamara Wellons Music, Instagram.com, Tamara Wellons. Is there anywhere else people can find your music, your concerts?
Well, I'm streaming on all platforms. So
Excellent.
you can go to Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, all the streaming sites. Go
Wonderful.
there, type in my name, create a radio station, hear some of my music, and it's here to there. I got like some dance music, then I got some folk type songs. So um it's 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 my art. It's my heart.
Well, I got to have you share at least a slice of that heart with the peoples. Can you sing a little something for us? We all going through things. We
Yeah.
in quarantine. We got COVID-19, and
Mm-hmm.
people out there, they're hurting. They might have lost loved
Mm-hmm.
ones during all of this. They may be ill right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
anything on your heart to share?
You know, there's a song that came to mind as you were talking, Find Me.
Hmm.
And a lot of times I'll write songs that are love songs, but sometimes these love songs translate as very spiritual. Um, you can
Yeah, there's a
use it
deeper
for what you
message
need.
beyond the surface. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
Same here.
Um, so I'm gonna sing a little bit of Find Me. I don't think I've ever sung it a cappella, so I don't know how
You
to.
can sing the phone book, girl. That girl, she got a saxophone up in her throat. Okay. Oh my
I love
God.
that.
It's just, I don't have words to describe it. I'm ready.
Okay. Find me. I'm standing out for you to find me. I'll make it easy, I'm not hiding. For you, I've cleared the way, inviting. Open arms, come to me. You know the way is so exciting. I've been waiting on you finally. Love is bright, but not too blind thee. Welcome home. You have been waiting for a long while for a place you call your own. I have your treasure right here. Oh, find me. I'll give you my eyes to recognize me. Show you my truth, no disguise. Tell me how long you've been waiting. Well, I'm here preparing to give you all that you've been seeking. The kind of treasure you're deserving. The kind of thing that you've been missing. Oh, it's here. That's just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
It's
Ugh.
yeah. It could be that muse you're looking for, and you're like, "Here, find me. I'm here." You have been waiting
Well, find her,
to
y'all.
find me.
You gotta find her online. Follow her. Not just find her, but follow her. Buy that music.
Find me and follow me.
Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for bringing everything that you are to this platform. We love you.
Thank you. I
Be
love you
safe.
too, Kenny. Gosh, you're such a star, and I'm humbled by
Oh,
you and your voice and your everything. Like you are so humble about this thing.
bless you. Thank you.
And you're such a star. Gosh, you really are. So I feel privileged.
Well, I feel privileged. Ain't neither one of us no star. It's just the God in us, just the star.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the funny thing. I
Yeah.
think
Mm,
there's all the things about you that I love are the attributes of God that are just shining through you. Like
mm.
she's like one of the
Let me
most.
take that in. Let me take that in.
She has such a kind, peaceable, patient way about her, and I that it makes sense that you're a therapeutic music practitioner because it's just like the essence of you is like pouring out for others to get a feel of it and a piece of it. And I
Mm.
always tell people anything that y'all think is good about me, it's only because of God. Because I'm a
You
mess.
know,
I was a mess, but God.
man, hour on the hour, I'm like, okay.
And you know what? That was another big nugget from our first conversation how you had to work through some things
Yeah,
yourself to get to a point where you felt like you could soothe others or comfort others.
yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
a part of the artistic process that artists don't
Hmm.
like talking about. Like
Yeah,
art comes from a really painful place.
yeah. And you know what? And it's different all the time. It never stops, right? Like
Yes.
it's some different levels of it. I feel like even right now, there's a certain piece of me that I have to work through to get to this other project that I'm working. I'm like, this is new.
Come on.
And it don't involve anybody else
Not a
but
soul.
me.
Come on.
I'm like, ooh,
Whew.
Tammy.
You'll be there when you're meant to be there. So don't feel
Yes.
like you have to put a date on it, or you don't owe
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
anything but God. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Oh, that I know we gotta end it at some point. But you said some words, I'm telling you, that will stay with me for a very long time. And it was about pleasing God
Mm.
in my work. And so you said that, and I needed to hear it. And I'm saying it here on this platform too, because I know that somebody needs to hear it. When you're singing and when you get all in your head, if it's not for, we know that my intention in the arts and health space is to help relieve stress, but also understand that, and I don't know, everybody has really different beliefs, but
Mhm.
pleasing God helps me understand, like to make my ego go shh.
Come on. Yes.
Yeah. Am I pleasing God with this? God, are you happy with me, with my singing, what I'm doing right now?
Yes.
You know, and that's it. I'm gonna carry that because that helps me not be so critical and not look at things where in the space of arts and healthcare, you're not really focused on that. But when I'm talking about as an artist performing, putting out records and things for people, we
Mhm.
do go through a thing where
We
we're
do.
constantly criticizing and looking and seeing what everybody else is doing,
Mhm.
you know.
Oh, that's so good. And
Yeah.
I didn't even think about this until now. I think a lot of that comes out of us learning that behavior from seeing other people model it in our community
Mm-hmm.
and in the music
Mm-hmm.
business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, okay, so if I'm an artist, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to
Mm-hmm.
look at other artists and pick them apart and look at how I
Woo.
can do this and that better, and
Oh God, it's so depressing.
it is, and
It's so depressing.
it's definitely a learned behavior because it's not like we just pulled it out of thin air.
Yeah. Oh,
I
child.
thank you for being the converse of that, the antithesis
Mm,
of that,
mm,
and really setting a precedent of love,
mhm,
leading with love, and
mm,
mentoring other artists, whether you know it or not, to do the
mm.
same, even if it's from afar.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I love
Well, I'm
you.
glad we got back in there.
Yes, and it worked. This was I'll say this is probably even with the last one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's say that.
But everyone, this is not the end of it. You can follow her online everywhere you see on the screen there. And I also am going to take us out with one of your music videos and what tell them about this song and where they can find it.
Okay, which one are you playing?
Um, Same love.
Oh, yes. So, Same Love is from the album Pretty. I wrote this song with a dear friend of mine, Dave Lindsay. And it's just a song about the thing that we all are searching for, love. And it's the same love. It's really freedom. So that's it.
Come on. Well, here we are, y'all. Same love. God bless you, Tamara. God bless everybody
Thank
watching.
you.
Thank you for hanging in there with your boy. We're going to get better and better each week. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Y'all
Better
take
and better.
care.
See ya.
You might say we're all a little say that we won't feel the same way. We may try to ignore what our truth is, but that won't take away all the pain. You know the sun still shines on us all. Even the rain knows the fortune of his fall. You may not know the struggle of those before you. We've gotta love, no one can destroy. 'Cause at the end of the day, we all want the same love. Same the kind that Harry and Sarah and Malcolm were fighting for. 'Cause at the end of the day, we all want the same love. Same love. The kind that brings up and change and your people been fighting for. We the people, we don't give don't up. You give up superhuman, eyes the universe. Every day we giving up all the space, all the spaces it needs to grow. The same kind of love that speaks from your heart moves ways to one beat. That love that keeps moving even when you sleep. That love is repeat. When there is something more to resist, here comes peace. 'Cause at the end of the day, we all want the same love. Same love. The kind that Harry and Sarah and Malcolm were fighting for. Fighting for. 'Cause at the end of the day, we all want the same love. Same love. The kind that brings up and change and your people been fighting for. Yeah. 'Cause at the end of the day, we all want the same love. Same. The kind that Harry and Sarah and Malcolm were fighting for. Fighting for. 'Cause at the end of the day, we all want the same love. Same. The kind that brings up and change and your people been fighting for. Love.
All right, y'all. Oh, I did it. Thank you, Lord. Oh, I wasn't gonna let nobody hold me back, y'all.